Anna, just so you know, that has now begun the webinar.
Perfect. Okay, sorry, on my side. Hello everyone, and welcome to EIT InnoEnergy Master School Virtual Open Day. This is our winter edition of the event, and some of you might already met me at our previous events. My name is Anna. I work for EIT InnoEnergy Master School marketing team. Now, to give you a little bit of background about the event, the idea of the webinar is to give you some flavor of what life can be like as an EIT InnoEnergy Master School student. So today we will discuss the programs, we will discuss Career Center, the opportunities and the support that you will receive while studying with us. We also have two special guests joining us today. So we have two of our partner universities, Politecnico di Torino and Aalto University in Finland. Additionally, we have our students and graduates that have kindly accepted to participate in today's webinar and share their experience as well. Now, a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. If you have any questions, and I strongly encourage you to ask as many questions as you have to our presenters, please type them into the chat box. You will see this in your control panel at the bottom. Additionally, you have the question box, so you can also type them in there. And what we will do is that during the webinar, we will try to answer the questions as we go along. And if we see that that there's like more common questions that are coming up, we will keep those for the Q&A. So those can be answered during the Q&A with our students and during the Q&A with all of our presenters and speakers. Now let's kick off the event. So I would like to introduce to you our first presenter. We have here with us today the Education Director at InnoEnergy, Professor Dr. Frank Gillen. Now, Professor Dr. Gillen will present to you a little bit general information, introductory information about EIT InnoEnergy and our overall philosophy as a company. So, Professor Dr. Frank Gillen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna, and welcome everybody. So I'm happy that I can take some of your time today to explain you why you should choose a career in sustainable energy and use InnoEnergy as a partner to get there. So, but let me start by first explaining what EIT Energy is doing and what is our main purpose. So EIT InnoEnergy is the leading engine in innovation and entrepreneurship for sustainable energy, and we are the world's largest accelerator for startups and companies in sustainable energy. We were founded in 2010 with support of the European Commission and as one of the first knowledge and innovation communities. So when taking this as a starting point, I want to take this picture and ask you, well, there is no need to ask you the question why you should join InnoEnergy, because looking at this picture, the sense of urgency is dripping from your screen. And climate change is happening every day. We don't only hear about it, but we see it and we feel it. So the real question becomes, how can you contribute to stopping climate change? And so let's look at the following part. The answer is, well, get as many people as we can the right skills and the right attitudes to lead our world and our planet towards sustainable energy, but do that faster and sooner. And to achieve this, I mean, InnoEnergy is the place to be, because our programs accelerate the sustainable energy transition by many things or by many ways. We invest in startups, we invest in human capital and in innovation, and we bring together all the parties that are needed to make this happen. We bring together the research, the industry, and the higher education, which is called our knowledge triangle, and we form a community which we call the innovation community, or the KIC. So it's an ecosystem. And so having all these elements together, I mean, we can speak to CEOs of startups, investors in clean energy or leading companies, and we always ask them, well, what would be the profiles that you want to recruit to have the top team in this age of uncertainty. And a number of things always come up. They say, well, we need people that have an attitude to be self-driven, to self-learning. They accept ambiguity, that we don't know everything today, but we can deal with that and find solutions. It's somebody who does not only excel at the technical level, but also have a good way of mentoring people or bringing people together and network fearlessly and ask for help. Now, when you put all these things together, this is a pretty good definition of an innovation mindset and an entrepreneurial attitude. And this is what we want to cultivate in InnoEnergy, and this is what you can learn in our programs. Now, do not expect classroom lectures to develop this type of innovation mindset and entrepreneurial attitude. Now, there is a totally new way of learning. It's also learning how to learn, and it can never be done alone. So what is InnoEnergy doing to achieve this and to give you this opportunity? Well, to start with, InnoEnergy is an international ecosystem of more than 300 startups who are leading the energy transition in many domains, and 500 partners who are also the recognized leaders in this space. And this trusted ecosystem is at the heart of everything we do, because you learn from our ecosystem in many days from day one that you join us. Our startups and industry partners, they work with our student community, they want their top talent, and they do this for internships, for in-company projects, for thesis projects, but also in competition and challenges. And finally, they can offer you jobs, top jobs and careers. So the ecosystem is part of your master school experience. And we make it what we call our active learning space, where you already will take up responsibilities and work side by side with experts on real problems while studying. And this is what we mean by having impact faster and sooner. You will have impact on the energy transition from day one, and not only after you graduate within 2 years, because our planet can simply not afford to wait 2 more years. And that's why we organize our education like this. And let me give you 2 examples, because you will not only attend the best university and business schools in 2 or 3 European countries, but you will also learn about the most sustainable, the most advanced subjects, and have the opportunity to apply directly what you learn in real-world challenges, together with startups and companies of the InnoEnergy ecosystem. And this real picture shows exactly what that means, the startups and the companies in the energy system, because this is a project of our students working on offshore floating wind projects, and do that together with one of our startups called Principal Power and one of our corporate partners, EDPR, the renewable branch of EDP, or corporate partner. So to understand offshore wind, you don't only have to know how a wind turbine works, but you also need to experience what it means to be offshore when the wind blows at 4/7, and this is the experience we give you. So this is one nice example of the type of projects that you will be able to expect as a student. And another example is also from our students. It's a project in Thailand, where our students, together with the local community and the local population, they designed and installed an off-grid solution for a small fisherman village. And this was done as part of the green recovery, and it was done as part of their study. So they worked for almost a full year, not only taking students, but like I said, local contractors, and they didn't only do the design, but they also looked for the financing, they looked for the implementation. So you really learn about how to manage an entire project in all its dimensions. And in the end, the students who completed this project, they liked it so much that they decided to create a startup company who is now doing this as a professional service in this area. So really exciting and challenging projects which show you the real energy transition. So it really means that when you join an InnoEnergy Master program, you want and get more than just a degree. For starters, you will have full access to our unique expertise of all our partners leading in all the domains of sustainable energy. And we will not only cover science and technology, but we also cover markets, financing, regulation, business models. So every aspect that impacts the sustainable energy transition, whether to accelerate it or whether to slow it down, you will have to understand it and know what it means for your project. And we put all of this in the program. So secondly, we also want you to share our passion for innovation and entrepreneurship, because we believe that innovation and entrepreneurship will be the driving forces of the energy transition. It is in our DNA, it is embedded in everything we do, and you will have the opportunity to experience it firsthand in the innovation and entrepreneurship journeys that are part of all our master programs and that really make it a unique experience. And then finally, we want you to join us on our mission of transformation. The sustainable energy transition changes everything, and to change everything, we need everybody, including you. So you should all become mad men and mad women on a mission to lead this transformation, because simply our planet is counting on you. Now, the other thing you can ask, of course, is, well, why should I come to Europe for this? And the answer is very simple: the European Green Deal. It's the strategic agenda of the European Commission. It's Europe's Man on the Moon project to make Europe a climate neutral continent in 3 decades. And that's a daunting task, because you don't only need the people, you need the technology, you need the buy-in of the population, and it really is a big game changer. But so it also means that at the policy level, the investment level, the strategic agendas of the companies are all being aligned with this strategic purpose, which means that the jobs will be created and there will be many jobs. And we have done some calculations, and we can say that there will be hundreds of thousands of new jobs created, and it's certainly your opportunity to become a pioneer in Europe in the green recovery, which is the Green Deal plan that will also help us in the economic recovery following the COVID crisis. And to give you the more exact numbers, so recent research has shown that it could potentially, the Green Deal could potentially mean 1 million new jobs by 2030 in Europe alone, 1 million, and 3 to 4 million by 2050. So I don't think I need to add more. This is your opportunity to take one of those jobs and to work with us on this Green Deal. And then finally, well, Europe is also the center and is leading in terms of innovations in the energy sector. And it's true, we didn't build the Tesla in Europe, but we built all these other things which are on this slide. And I usually take this as a quiz when I give a presentation, but we will not do this here, but at least the 4 examples that you can see on this slide all origin from Europe. And like I said, we didn't build the Tesla, but we created Formula E, which is the Formula 1 for electrical vehicles. It's the lab where the electrical vehicles of the future are built. We built the Solar Impulse, which is a plane that flew around the world on renewable energy only. We built the boat, which you see here, which is working on solar energy and hydrogen. It also went around the world and is still going around the world. You can follow it on the internet, only using renewable energy. And we have startups that create flying vehicles. So all of these are exciting innovations that have been created in Europe, and we have many more to come and many more to work on. And of course, a very important role in this innovation and the research that precedes it are the top universities in our programs. They are leading in terms of innovation and research, but they are also leading in terms of education, to give you the best education that fits this purpose. And you can see on the map that we have possibilities in all areas of Europe. Scandinavia, which is leading the energy transition with universities like KTH, Uppsala, and Aalto University. And Aalto University will be presenting their approach. We have Germany with KIT and Unternehmen TUM. They are at the heart of de Energiewende, KU Leuven, TU Eindhoven, Business School ESADE, Technico in Lisbon, UPC, Politecnico di Torino, where also today you will have some more insights in what's happening there. And then in France, École Polytechnique, top school, École des Ponts, Université Paris-Saclay, Grenoble IMP, and Université de Paris. So all those universities are a member of one of our programs, and you will have the opportunity to study in 2 of them, and also then to join one of the additional programs by ESADE, Grenoble École of Management, and Ondernemen that are contributing to the innovation and entrepreneurship development. So this is where what we can offer you. I can tell you it's exciting, and it's above all giving you a unique opportunity to study and have impact at the same time. And that's not too many programs can give you that. So thank you for listening, and I'll be glad to answer some questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for an insightful and inspiring presentation. I now move on to our next presenter. You also might be familiar with him as he has been participating in InnoEnergy events, in case you were joining our previous Master School events. We have Javier Arias with us, who is in charge of marketing here for education at EIT InnoEnergy. Now, Javier will dive a little bit more into what it actually means to study at EIT InnoEnergy Master School. So, Javier, I pass it on to you.
Thank you very much, Anna, and thanks everybody for joining us today. I hope you're finding this session very insightful. And as Anna mentioned, just a reminder, you can ask us questions through the question box in the control panel on your right, I believe, both in the mobile app, but also on a desktop. And we will be answering your questions at the end of the session. So as Professor Frank was mentioning, EIT InnoEnergy is much more than just a university or an academic program. It's actually a network. It's actually a combination of academic business training, but also making an impact. And we see that that impact is done, of course, through the studies of our students, but also through our graduates, many of which take on different roles across Europe and beyond. So later on, we will have actually our career center who's going to tell you all about the type of jobs that students can get, because I see that's a question coming up already on our chat. But here are just a few examples of graduates who are making impact in very different sectors. If you see here on the top left, we have Simone, which is actually CEO of a company which he launched together with other of his classmates after graduation, after having done the Masters in Energy for Smart Cities. At the same time, we have, for example, Alexandra Ferreira, who's originally from Portugal and now works in Paris as an offshore manager for a project at a company called Eolfi. And like them, we have many more. For example, Ines, who's actually making impact at the policy-making level at the European Commission, and Kiresh, who actually moved all the way from India to work in the Netherlands after having studying in Sweden and the Netherlands as well. So opportunities are actually countless. And why is this? Well, basically because we are placing you at the heart of all our ecosystem. What you see here in the middle is a representation of the startups and companies that we work with across the continent. So it doesn't matter which country you study, you actually have access to a wide network of European energy companies. But beyond that, of course, our master school offers you a double degree program, 2 years in at least 2 different countries, access to some of the best technical universities and business schools in Europe. We offer you professional, technical, and business training. And also we offer you a lot of career opportunities that have landed some of our startup founders who graduated from our programs, a position even in Forbes 30 under 30. So they've been recognized by this prestigious publication. Our programs, in a nutshell, consist of 3 different pillars. First, the academic part, as I was saying, master's programs, technical degrees, 2 years in 2 different countries. innovative methodologies and technologies. Then the second pillar will be the innovation and entrepreneurship journey that every one of our programs has, with courses at business schools or projects, for example, with Unternehmertum, international missions, visits to different companies, complementary training in skills that are in high demand in the market, and finally, a strong career focus, because we are a network of industrial and startup champions in the energy sector, right? So we place you at the heart of that through challenges, through case-based studies, and more opportunities that you'll hear from later on by our Career Center. Today with us, we have two of our top partner universities. Those are Aalto University and Politecnico di Torino. So these universities are involved in two of our programs. That's the Masters in Sustainable Energy Systems as a year 2 possibility after doing your first year in either Sweden or Spain, and in the Masters of Energy Storage, which is our most recent program, as an option for year 1 and year 2. I'm sure you'll find the presentations most insightful, and they'll talk briefly about the different programs that we offer. Now, when it comes to joining our programs, what is required from you? So basically, you need to have a bachelor or master's degree in an engineering or science field. So be it, for example, mechanical, electrical, electronics, engineering, energy engineering, of course, power engineering, or science, depending on your background, physics, chemistry. We look at the study success. So we actually are looking for the best talents. We have a GPA and academic score requirement here. It varies per program, so I would invite you to look in our website for the program that you're interested in. We do require an English proficiency proof, so either a TOEFL of 92 or an IELTS of 6.5, with some options for some exceptions, of course, depending on where you come from or which country you want to study. You may have extended deadlines. Then we look at the reputation of the university from which you graduated. And finally, we look at your motivation to actually get involved in this network of entrepreneurs and innovators. And we do that through, of course, work experience if you have some, but it doesn't matter if you don't. You may be just graduating from your bachelor, of course, but we want to see that you have affinity with this area. So in terms of applications, our applications are open at the moment. We ask students to apply in rounds, and that is done so that we can actually respond to you fast in terms of having a decision whether you're admitted or not. So students apply in different rounds. Right now we're in round 3, which closes on the 7th of March. And after that, about a month, a little bit over a month, you will know whether you're accepted or not. If you cannot apply in this round, we have later, further rounds later this year, but of course, as the programs get full, there are less seats available, so it might be that some programs are not available in subsequent rounds, or some institutions are not able to accept students very late. Nonetheless, you can apply still until the 13th of June to start this year. Programs start between August, September, and October. Finally, investment. So of course, investing in one of our programs is an investment in your future. And now we understand that many universities may charge an application fee. We don't do that. We want you to, just do it freely and explore the possibilities of joining us. Once you have been admitted into one of our programs, we do require a registration fee. That is 250 euros that are basically to confirm your seat. And after that, we have a participation fee of 18,000 euros per year, which includes all the activities that are related to the program. Even if you, for example, have to travel to go to a business school course in non-COVID times, of course, that's included. What's not included is the accommodation, travel costs from and to your country of origin. We do have some partial and full scholarships available. The full scholarships are quite limited, so it's really reserved for the very top students who apply for each of the programs. The partial waivers are a little bit more of them available, where students can pay 10,000 euros per year, of course, also based on your background and so on. And for students who graduate from top European universities, you may be paying 5,000 euros per year. So that's a heavy, of course, discount. Finally, just before I go and I give the floor to our next speaker, just want to mention that we have a few upcoming events that you may find interesting in case you want more information about a specific program. So we're going to have InnoTalk Q&A sessions, which are sessions with program directors and program coordinators of different programs. And so far, we have 5 scheduled for the next month and a half for energy technologies for sustainable energy systems, renewable energy, smart electrical networks, and smart cities. Those are available on our website. So if you visit our website, go to the news and events section, and there you can, there's a link where you can register for any of these events. As said, it's very useful if you're interested in a particular program. And then we also have an initiative that we're running for our students to actually boost their entrepreneurial skills, which is called the Battle of Green Talent, which is going to have a final event on the 8th of April, where we are actually going to use hybrid learning classroom facilities that we're using right now because of COVID times, of course. And this final event is open to everybody. So if you're curious, you want to see what this whole competition is all about, you can join. The registration is not open yet, but it will come soon also on our website. So thank you everyone very much for listening in. I hope you found this interesting. Please keep asking your questions, any that you may have. We will tackle them as we go through the webinar. And I'll give the floor back to Anna, who will introduce you to our next speaker.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you for a clear presentation. Now, as promised, I would like to invite our next speaker. We have a presenter here from our partner university, so a special guest speaker from Politecnico di Torino. So we have Professor Massimo Santarelli. And Massimo is not only a professor at Politecnico di Torino, he is also an EIT InnoEnergy representative there. So Massimo, the floor is yours. Please let us know how students can study at the top technical university in Italy.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Can you see my screen, my presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. Oh, fantastic. So I give you an introduction about the activity in Politecnico. I start with to show you where we are. So you see there is a picture of Torino in the night. You see it is located close to the Alps, so in this north part of Italy. So it's not the classical Italy, let's say. So it's the part of Italy close to the mountain, close to the Alps. So you can see in the picture. This city is a classical city where technology started in Italy to 150 years ago, roughly, basically with the car industry. You know, Fiat, the Fiat Chrysler automobile come from Torino originally, so this is the city of car. Some history. As I said, we started this school of engineer in around 150 years ago, in 1859. You see, so we had an evolution till today, with of course a modification of the campus. Now the campus is very big. It's still a campus which is inside the heart of the city, so we are not out of the city. We are certainly in the city center. So this is a good point from the point of view of the use for the students. And in terms of ranking, we have a good international reputation in the engineering and technology sector. We are in the 2019 ranking. We are in the 52 position at the world level in terms of engineering. Then we have some number in terms of number of students. It's a quite big university. Is concentrated on science and technology. So it's engineering and basic science, but still is big. So we have enrolled around 53,000 students, mostly distributed in engineering and some in study related to architecture. And we have a school of PhD, a PhD school, so the third level, in which we have enrolled around 650 candidates, which follow the PhD pathway. Every year, you can imagine to have every new year, 5,000 students every new year enrolled in Politecnico. It's big, but the possibility to be of employment is very high. So the employment for engineering is after 1 year of the graduate in Politecnico is 90%. So 90% of our students after 1 year have a good position in the technology sector. So can be from generating startup to work on a big enterprise. And basically, I can say they work all over the world. The type of degree that we give usually is very appreciated at the international level. So many students go working out of Italy. In terms of human capital, so you have an idea also the number of professors. Again, it's a big university, so you can see we have around 1,000 professors in the different topic of the engineering, from of course ICT to some related to basic science, to civil engineering, to mechanical engineering. Around 1,000 professors, as I said, and basically in terms of administrative, similar, around 1,000 administrative people. Of course, is needed more and more in a modern university. All the auxiliary services, which are not only education, but all the rest is improving more and more. So we need big staff in terms of administrative. We are very connected at the international level, of course, with the InnoEnergy network. We have several other connections all over the world. We have a campus dislocated in other parts of the world, but connection with, you see from Japan to China. We have a big connection with China, to the US, so MIT, Berkeley, and Princeton, basically, and also with the south of the US. Then in terms of research, is a research university, so we have a very good score in terms of research grant from a competitive calls. So we get in terms of the Europe ACE 2020 framework program, that is the one that is going to finish. We got around 127 projects in terms of principal investigator, and so with a balance of around 20 million euro every year, around of coming from international project in terms of competitive application. Then we have several projects with industry, but is another story. And then we have probably we are the highest score in Italy in terms of national initiative, in terms of project. So big score of success in terms of research project at the national level. We have also high-level research in the sense that we have some, in Europe, the highest level of possibility in terms of research is the European Research Council, so it's the top level in terms of research. So we got in terms of this grant, 10 grants with principal investigator from Politecnico. So this is the top level of the research at the European level at the moment, in terms of possibility to go at the scientific level. And then we have the only university in Italy that has involved in two flagship initiatives at the European level, one on graphene, so the basic material that can be used in several applications in the technologies, and the second in a human brain project, so mostly related to big data and artificial intelligence. We have, of course, a part which is related to entrepreneurship. So there is in the campus a center for entrepreneurship, so to transform the research into technology. We have, as you see in the slide, every year around 600 ideas accepted. We launch around 145 projects every year. So startup and new job that come from this type of transfer from research to technology. We are the Incubator in Italy, which is the most important, has been granted as awarded as the most important technology incubator in Italy in the last few years. So not only research, but research that goes to the level of generating startups. And just a point, we have organized our research in terms of center which are interdepartmental, because the research is going more and more to be crossing the different discipline and technologies. So we have some focus at the center, for example, the one for cars, innovative car, because Torino is the city of car, as I said. We have an energy center, so the research center where I am involved related to the energy studies. The urban legacy for the new towns, the new municipalities, the additive manufacturing, the biomedical, you see the big data. But we have also some very specific, like the photonic, so the PhotoNext laboratory about the photonic advancement, and for example, the advanced joining technology, which is more and more used in new technology, the joining material to develop batteries, for example, or electrochemical system in general. As I said, is a research-oriented university, so we give a lot of importance to the basic research, so starting from materials and the lab, but at the end we are an engineering school, so we work from low technology readiness level to industrial and technology readiness level. So we start from the material, but we arrive in a project that we do as a university to a real plant at the industrial side. So this is in the, you can see on the left, on the right, sorry, the biggest plant in Europe containing a high temperature fuel cell, so ceramic fuel cell, so electrochemical technologies of new generation that convert chemical energy into electrical energy at the highest efficiency. So this is a plant that we have done in a university project here in Torino. It is the biggest plant at the moment using this type of fuel cell in Europe. We have a lot of laboratory. This is the laboratory that is coordinated by me. So we work basically on several applications of electrochemistry, thermochemical processes, photochemical processes, and biochemical processes. We dedicate a lot of attention on the topic of hydrogen and on the topic of CO2. So we recover the CO2 to make other use. So you can see here, for example, we of course recover CO2 from exhaust with different technology, and we reutilize the carbon containing the CO2 to generate synthetic material. So we can generate in the lab synthetic chemicals. We generate synthetic gas, synthetic kerosene for the aerospace industry. We can go to synthetic alcohols, synthetic polymer, and we can also generate synthetic gas, if it is the case. I don't think it will be the case for the future. It is only to say we give a lot of attention to the circularity, not only of the product, but also of the molecule. So the idea is to recover as much as possible carbon and hydrogen to reuse them in a circular perspective, and this is part of our job. I have a video here. I don't know if you can see it, but just to show you something about our laboratories. I hope you can see. So you see, this is a laboratory where that is coordinated by me, related to the recombination of carbon coming from the CO2 in terms of producing new product, as I told you before. So you see this CO2 valorization, and you see we do it in several ways. We start from the catalyst, of course, so the synthesis of catalyst with different technology. So for example, the electrodeposition. So you see we make at the lab level the deposition of nanostructured catalyst. You see in an electrode. So it's a copper electrode in which we deposit nanostructured catalyst. You see here. And then we have other procedure. You see, still we go at the level of the material that generated the conversion, so the catalyst, but it is treated in another way. So you can see there is a microwave hydrothermal synthesis. And so this is only to give you an idea of at the level in which from which we start to generate the innovation. Is my view that everything starts from there to go to make a real innovation at the level of technology product. So we can move on. We are involved inside the Master of InnoEnergy into a master, as I was already said. One is Select, which is the environmental pathway for sustainable energy system, where I also teach some courses. Is a more holistic view about the management of the energy, taking into account the environmental concern. So it's a more holistic view concerning production and storage and distribution. The second one is the new master, which is called eStore, which you see is more focused, but it is focused in a topic which is very, very important, which is the energy storage. So we deal on the topic of batteries. We deal on the topic of, for example, power to gas. So storing a big amount of power in form of chemicals. And we do also activity in the area of power to power, so the of course reproduction of the energy from the chemical stored and distributed, for example, in form of synthetic natural gas or in the form of hydrogen. So basically, this is what I want to say in terms of Polytechnic. I have also another video, but I think is too long. If you have some question, of course, I'm happy to reply, and you can see some picture of Torino, where we are located. Thank you.
Massimo, thank you very much. Very interesting presentation about the opportunities that are currently available at Politecnico di Torino. Now we move on to our next presenter. So I'm excited to let you know that we also have a special guest from Aalto University, Annika, who is a professor there and who will be able to tell you exactly why you should make Aalto University your study destination when you join EIT InnoEnergy. So Annika, I will make you a presenter now, so please let me know if you can share your
could you make Sara the presenter? Thank you very much, because we would like to talk through the presentation.
Of course. So
Sara,
yes, you should be able to share your slides now.
Thank you.
Yes. Can you see my slides now?
Yeah,
yes,
now in presenting mode. Good. So Sara will start and I will continue.
Yeah. Maybe I start by presenting myself. My name is Sara Kanerva, and I work for the learning services at Aalto University. So I cooperate with Annukka, you already mentioned, who is the professor in charge, for example, energy storage master's program. But I'll start by telling a little bit more about Aalto University and also studying in Finland and Finland in general. Let's see. Here. So Aalto University is a merger of 3 leading Finnish universities: Helsinki University of Technology, which was founded in 1849, University of Art and Design Helsinki, which was founded in 1871, and Helsinki School of Economics, which was founded in 1911. So they all 3 together formulated Aalto University in 2010. So I could say Aalto University is quite young university with a long history. And about living in Finland, Aalto campus is located in the city of Espoo. It's 22 kilometers from Helsinki-Vantaa Airport, which is the biggest airport in Finland. And Aalto campus can be reached in 15 minutes by metro from the city center of Helsinki, and Helsinki is the capital of Finland. So Aalto is not located in the capital of Finland, it's a city next to it. Accommodation, that's the price range for student housing in Finland, but it's of course a bit more expensive if you are like renting from private market. But the main housing providers for Aalto University students are HOAS, as we call it, the Foundation for Student Housing in the Helsinki region, and AYY, Aalto University Student Union. They have a lot of student houses around Helsinki region, so usually most of the students can find accommodation from there. And in Finland, as we are located in the northern part of Europe, there might be a lot of snow during the winter, like we do have at this moment. We have a lot of snow in Finland and in Helsinki. And this picture is actually from the campus, as you can see the sign of Aalto University there. So if you choose Finland as your study country, you should prepare also for the winters. Take some warm clothes with you, so on. But the summer is usually quite warm, and this picture is also from Aalto campus. That's actually our main building there, or one of our main buildings there behind the trees. So as you can see, it's quite warm, sun is shining, so yeah, there's also a lot of light during the summertime. Yeah, Annukka, maybe you should tell a little bit more about this master's program in energy storage.
So hello everyone, I hope you hear me. I'm assistant professor on energy conversion and storage here in EIT University School of Engineering. And we are now involved in this energy storage program that I could tell a little bit more. Aalto is part of both SELECT program and energy storage program. For SELECT only for the exit year, for the second year, and for the energy storage for both enter and exit years. In this energy storage program, the first year includes technical courses like energy storage, renewable energy conversion, electric energy, and a first year project. And the idea that we've had here in the energy research, in energy teaching in EIT University is that it's very multidisciplinary. So you're going to have courses from many different departments. So not just from our department, but also department from chemistry, department from electrical engineering. So and also physics. So this is also stressing why it's very good that we have a separate program for energy storage topics. And then in second year, you can kind of specialize a little bit more on the topic wise and then select kind of one of the universities due to that. And we are kind of focused a little bit on sustainable energy conversion processes. Also those what Massimo was talking about on power to X and transport processes, but also here in Finland, it's very big role was also heat. So heat production, decarbonization of heat production and energy storages, thermal energy storages play also a very vital role in there. And then we are going to have a very entrepreneurship minded program as well. And we do a very close collaboration with those our own entrepreneurial study office, Aalto Ventures program. And then in the program, there's also some possibilities to select few harmonizing courses because this is a program where you can apply also from different backgrounds. So a little bit depending on your background and your kind of your aim, there's a possibility to vary your path depending on your own needs. So this is what is going to be discussed then with the responsible professor of the program. Can you go to Sara, next slide? And then these are kind of Kava events, so kind of added value events that this year were very challenging to prepare for the first year. But the idea would be to visit, to actually go and meet people who work in entrepreneurial in startups. This was also something we were able to do this year, even with the COVID. So we were able to meet entrepreneurs who work in energy-related startups, to actually discuss with them and hear about their everyday life, and hear also kind of the eagerness that they work and with their passion. So in the regular year, we would be able to go in events like Slush. So this is one of the biggest entrepreneurial event in the world. So it's organized in Finland in November. So this would be part of our journey as well in the regular years, and then also participate to other type of conferences like Utility Week or Web Summit, or and then for us, we've been planning now for this kind of Iceland case are very interesting from the energy storage point of view. So we hope to at least be able to go to Finnish islands next year, or also other islands. So different kind of projects together with the companies, together with the different entrepreneurial startups. Go to next slide. So this is for the program in totally, and this is what, yes, you can go. That's good. So this was kind of some highlights of the added activities we have. Now we're already in the next slide. So can you go back there? But the idea would be that we are going to have a lot of networking activities, also something else than not just the school program or doing in the university for these programs. So we have also this year we were able to keep the Nuuksio trip and also network with the SELECT students. And then there would be in November the Slush events and co-events. And then in December we had this industrial gala, which this year was organized as a very nice online event. And we got even really good feedback from that from the students' point of view. And then we're kind of visiting on our spring side some of the excursions for large thermal energy storages and electrical energy storage systems. And then in the end, there's going to be the final presentations of the first and second year projects. Now you can go forward. And this is kind of just an additional slide for knowing that what kind of study culture we have in Finland. This is actually a very nice image also from one of our lecture halls of these newer ones, where the idea really is to kind of create new ideas and not to learn by heart, and therefore like this kind of plagiarism or everything is very forbidden. But in a way we don't even need that. It depends on kind of what type of things we want to nurture and questions. So this is a very nice and open environment for learning. Can Sara go to next? Yes, and then there was a couple of really good videos. We didn't yet have them here on the on this event, but if you are interested in, you can visit them. You can Google them, just EIT University, and you'll get more of those. But you probably also get these links afterwards. So we would be very happy also to have some discussion and answer all of your questions, maybe possibly in the end of this session. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sara. Thank you, Annika. Thank you for a very clear and detailed presentation. So we move on to our next presenter. Just a moment. There we go. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a presenter. There we go. So we move on to our next presenter, and our next speakers, they're integral part of EIT InnoEnergy Master School student experience. It's of course our career center. So we have Grace van den Boogaard and Marloes Vincent-Kruid who are joining us today. So both Marloes and Grace will present to you career center services, the team, the support, and the opportunities that they offer to our students to make sure that the students land the job of their dreams after they graduate. So Grace, is your microphone working?
I hope it is.
Perfect. Yes, we can hear you.
Great. And do you see my screen as well?
Presentation? Yes.
Oh, perfect. Great. All right. Well, this is a picture, of course, before COVID. So let me start with presenting myself and Marloes. So I'm the Career Center Coordinator within EIT InnoEnergy. And my responsibility is basically to help students find internships, find jobs, help them prepare for the labor market. And we have several activities and services which we offer in this within our team. So I want to start off with a short overview of the facts. Like we do research every year, and then we try to update these facts with the most recent graduates as well. This year we're almost there with our research, but what we have so far shows quite some interesting numbers already, such as 12% of our students start their own startup. And personally, I have the feeling that in 2020 it was even a higher amount, because I had spoken to even more students who are creating a startup or who have already started with their own startup. And I think it was mentioned by Dr. Frank Giele already that also the Battle of Talents is a great support for our students into starting their own startup and getting all the right support and help internally from InnoEnergy, such as from the Career Center, but also business creation and other departments who support with this. It gives also a brief overview of our top employers, where our graduates or our students do internships with, or where they start working after graduation. And these companies also attend our events quite often. So we have, of course, online events, and we hope to have perhaps maybe end of this year or next year to have virtual, physical events again, and to join these companies to join our events too. Yes, it's working. So to show you a bit on how we support our students and our recent graduates and alumni, we're focusing on the best career preparation we could give and the best career connection we could give. So all of our services are focusing on this and to help you get your dream job. And none of these services would cost you anything as a student or as an alumni. So going through the list of career preparations, we offer, I think it's around 6 to 8 webinars per year, and it's in some cases a collaboration with a specific university. So when we focus on a country, and the most webinars we give, it's European wide. So we focus on all different countries, and we try to give you feedback on what would be important in Germany and what would be important in France, for example. Besides that, we also do a CV and a cover letter check. Again, this is also focusing on the countries or the jobs that you are interested in. We do a video mock interview as well, so you can practice a real life job interview virtually, but you also can have a video that will ask you questions. You will have a certain time to reply. And last but not least, in our career preparation, we also have the Career Impact Program. I will explain about this a bit more in my following slides, but it is career coaching, tailor-made, and we provide some networking activities within this as well. So looking at the best career connection, we have a community per country, per location, but we also have a virtual community, a community platform, and we have a career center group on this page. We offer extra information, tips and tricks, sometimes extra jobs within this group. So it's only focusing on our students and helping them again in finding the job or the right internship. Besides the Career Center group that we have, we also have a job board where we post part-time jobs, internships, jobs, and many of these jobs come from within our ecosystem and might not be available on any other website or even on their own website. So it's exclusively only for our students. We have local matchmaking events. We did them virtually. We had 3 in 2020, and we're planning to have at least 3 again in 2021. So if we have to do this virtually again, we would we would invite the companies from that location and the students from that location so that you can get connected, even if it's not a physical event. And the Career Impact Challenges, they are connected to the Career Impact Program. It's basically the end of this Career Impact Program, and where you can have real life challenges. Dr. Frankile also gave some examples of real life activities that we do. And then we try to connect with companies and give you a real insight. So it's no fake challenges, but it's really something that the company is now facing and would like to have a solution for. Last year, we had companies such as Enel, McKinsey Energy Insights, Smart Innovation Norway. We have worked together with E.ON. So there are many interesting companies who provide these challenges too. So here a bit more about the Career Impact Program. We started in 2017, and our idea was EIT InnoEnergy wanted to help people with great ideas and ideas who could have a positive impact in an organization, in a country, like as long as it would have a sustainable impact. And the vision of the GC Index, that's the company that provides the assessments and supports us with the coaching. Their vision is to that you don't have to become a game changer to make a game-changing impact. Everybody can create an impact in an organization. We just have to find out how you as a student would be at your best and would be able to make the best impact possible. So it's a completely tailor-made program. We have certain learning objectives that we follow, but in principle, it's always depending on your needs and your demands that you will discuss with the coach during those 12 months. So to give you a little bit of extra insights in this career impact program, as I told you, we work together with the GC Index for this, and they start with the GC Index assessment. So we first check, where could you make an impact? Where is your strength? Which are your proclivities? And the second step would to check if you are aware of the impact you could make and what you think would be important. Based on those assessments, you will have 8 coaching sessions, focusing on your strength, focusing on things you would like to improve, but also connecting it to how you can improve something to find an internship faster, for example. So this program, we have added certain learning objectives, 5 learning objectives, and we've created short videos to give you tips and tricks to help you get the best out of it. We end after 12 months with the impact evaluation, so we can check, and you can check if you've actually grown or learned new things. And as an extra, as I mentioned, we would have the career impact challenges. The career impact challenges we organize together with ENLIT event, which used to be called the European Utility Week. So it's a very big event, and hopefully this year we will have it in Milan. So you might be able to visit Massimo perhaps. It would be end of November. And this is where you can then bring all your knowledge, all the things that you have learned as an InnoEnergy student, and show them and help solve cases from E.ON or from McKinsey, for example. So it was a short, brief overview, but as said, all our services are actually tailor-made for you, and you can always contact the Career Center whenever you would have a need or would like to have any support whatsoever, and we will check how we could best serve you. And this slide, you will see some feedback from what alumni have been saying, either from our one of our challenges or from any other event that they have given us feedback to. And this will also, I'm not sure, Malus, if you are unmuted and if you would like to share some extra information about the community.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yes, thank you, Grace, for this very good explanation of all the Career Center services which we have been working on together. And I would also like to tell you something about the community, the InnoEnergy community, which is actually for our InnoEnergy students and alumni, for them to work together and meet each other, experience great events, and well, benefit from the InnoEnergy network in general. So the community actually is, well, currently a worldwide network, because our alumni are, of course, coming and living from all over the world. And well, when you are entering the InnoEnergy Master School, you will be immediately part of the InnoEnergy community. And we currently have a platform, a community platform, where everything what is being organized is being presented. So all the online events, the offline events, the jobs, the other things that Career Center is doing, the other teams we have within the community, like, for example, the Community Post. It's our magazine, the energy policy team, which is organizing workshops about energy policy as a topic, and many more different things. Everything can be found on the community platform, which is already open for our new applicants who would like to have a look at what the community is doing. And you will also find a special group with information specifically made for new applicants, to give you a short introduction about what community is doing. So when you are a student at InnoEnergy Master School, you can already join all these events, join the community platform, have a created profile at the platform, and network with other students in other countries, in other locations, and also network with our alumni. We have a huge group, of course, already of alumni, and also still a big group of active alumni who are organizing events, who are presenters or speakers during our events, who bring on new opportunities and jobs and internships for the whole community. So it's quite a lively and engaged community, which is of course great, and everyone shares the ambition to bring value for the sustainable energy sector, of course. Yeah, and I would like to give you a couple of examples, of course, of what kind of events currently are being organized. We used to have a lot of physical events. People just go in their own city to the physical events being organized, like speaker series, workshops, but also just meeting up together, have a drink together, or a barbecue or whatsoever. And now it's a bit depending on local community or corona rules, of course. And in 2020, this has changed throughout the year, as everyone can understand. However, it also brought us that we have been able to organize a lot of online events, which everyone from every location could join. So that was actually quite a positive thing. And whenever it was possible, we have also organized physical events, and people could meet each other. And that's of course very beneficial when you would like to create your new network and to learn new people. However, we have been able to also do this in an online way. So we will see what 2021 will bring us, but we will for sure move on with all the online activities, and we are already looking forward to have our big community events like the community days again being organized in 2021. But of course, we have to see what Corona regulations will bring us in terms of possibilities. So some of the upcoming events, if I just can name a couple of them, is building integrated change through dialogue as a topic. Another one is Horizon 2020 project. Another one is what makes energy communities the future. So it's a very, very broad type of topics, and everyone is invited to join them, but also to organize events. So if you like to become an active community member, you can immediately, once you enter the Master School program, sign up at the local community where you are currently studying, and say like, hey, I would like to be an active member. Please introduce me to everything what's happening in the community, and then we will look like what are the possibilities for you to join a team, or if you have an idea yourself, or you would like to launch a creative project. We are very, very open to support you with that, and we will just connect you with the right people. And from the InnoEnergy Master School and the InnoEnergy education teams, we will be able to support you with that on with having the right teams, support you with educating you on having the right skills, and also we have some financial resources to make sure that we can organize these extracurricular activities for our students. And we also would like to stay important for our alumni, so you can stay connected and benefit from this network lifelong. So I hope this gives you a small insight in the community activities. If there are any questions, just let me know. And otherwise, I would like to give the floor back to you, Anna, I think.
I think so too, but I think I'm managing the slides probably for you.
Yes, exactly. So thank you very much. Thank you, Marloes, and thank you, Grace. Excellent presentation. So I think some good insights about the opportunities that are available with Career Center once you join EIT InnoEnergy. Now, though, let's dive into our session with students and graduates. So Grace, can you please change the slides? And then next, I think. Perfect. So firstly, I would, oh no, wait, exactly. So firstly, I would like to thank the everyone, all the student and graduates for taking time and accepting to participate in today's discussion. So maybe to start off, I would like to make it a little bit more interactive. So maybe I can ask you all to just introduce yourselves, offer a little bit of background about yourself. What program did you study? Maybe university that you attended. And if you're a graduate, maybe you can also mention what industry field you're working in now as well.
Sure, I'll go ahead and go first since my picture is first. My name is Tara Trafton. I was in the 2016 intake for Select. I did my first year at KTH in Stockholm and my second year at Politecnico di Torino. It was really nice to see Professor Santarelli's face again. I then graduated and now I'm back in the States and I'm a project success manager, which is like a project manager slash sales a little bit, business development for Europe Energy, which is the largest ESCO in the state.
Super, thank you, Tara. So who would like to go next?
I can go next. I'm Arpit Maheshwari. I was a student in the InnoEnergy program in 2011-2013 batch in the Select program. I did my first year in Sweden in KTH, and the second year of my master's program I was in Politecnico di Torino. I went on after this master's program to do a PhD, and thereafter I joined a startup in Munich in Germany, where I'm currently located. I work here as a battery engineer, which is where my master's and my PhD both were focused on, and happy to be here today.
Super, thank you so much, Arpit. Thank you for the introduction.
I can go next. Can you hear me well?
Yes, yes, we can hear you well.
All right. I don't know if you can see me as well, but I think I'm having some issues with the connection.
I'm not sure, but it's fine. As long as we can hear you, that's the most important.
Perfect. All right. So my name is João Arel. I'm an energy engineer, and I did the Masters of Science in Renewable Energy. I did my first year in UPC and the second year in IST, so Barcelona and Lisbon. And then I was working as an engineer for 6 months, but I didn't really like that. So I went back to the uni into research and started doing my PhD in sustainability. And right now I'm there still doing the PhD, and at the same time I'm trying to push forward my own entrepreneurial project related with consumer sustainability, of course, within the ecosystem of InnoEnergy and supported by all these ecosystems.
Super, thank you so much for the introduction. And I think we have the last but not least, Gustav.
Thank you, Anna, and everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Gustav Puruba, and I'm a student. This is my second year in the Masters in Energy Storage. And the first year I was in IST, the university, and the second university is Aalto University in Finland. So feel free if you would like to ask any kind of experience that I have regarding the study activities or perhaps living experience as well in both. Oh, sorry. I never came to Finland due to this corona issue, so I stay in Lisbon the whole almost 1 year, more some months. But I know some experience regarding the administration in Aalto and the study activities as well. in the online manner. So yeah, feel free if you would like to ask anything.
So thank you everyone for the brief introduction. And actually, Gusta, this a little bit funny because this is actually one of the questions that I picked up on from our current attendees. And perhaps this is more of a question for our graduates than for you then, because of the COVID times at the moment. But one of the questions that keeps coming up is regarding the university move, and if it's quite hectic to move from first year to the second year. And I guess it also comes a little bit with accommodation as well. Is it difficult to find accommodation when you move? So perhaps if it's convenient, maybe you can just discuss a little bit how you selected your second year university. Oh, we have some background noise, I think, from someone. Yeah. So how you selected your second year university, and just a little bit of advice regarding the move, because it's a big part of the EIT InnoEnergy experience.
Okay, so
the joys of webinars, right?
maybe ladies first, Tara.
Yes, for sure. For sure, I will mute myself.
Yeah, no problem. So one thing that I would advise folks to do is certainly pack light. You know, I tried to do that in the beginning, and then halfway through the first year in Sweden, I received a big care package from my mom that was full of long underwear and wool socks and all that great stuff. You know, but then you just have so many more things that you have to then get transported to your next school. So there's shipping companies, certainly, that some folks were able to find and use. I tried to just fit everything into my suitcases and paid for the overweight fee. Some folks, you know, if they were going, so I'm not European. So some folks, their parents came in, visited, and they took the stuff home, and then they drove to their next year university. So that was easier. But if you're coming not from Europe, it's my advice to definitely pack light. In choosing my second year university, I wanted one that was technically excellent. I wanted a school where I knew I was going to be able to take the courses I wanted to take, which related to energy efficiency, which serves me really well because my job as part of an ESCO right now, that's what we do all day, is we look for energy efficiencies and use those savings to fund larger projects for our clients. So it was really just the right fit. One of the complications of going to Polito, which maybe Arpit can speak a little bit to also, is that you do have to learn a certain level of Italian, which for some folks might be more difficult. But one of the benefits also of going to Polito is that you have a year afterwards to look for a job. That you get a visa for 1 year looking for a job because you're a highly skilled worker. And that was something that was really attractive to me because I had hoped to stay in Europe. It didn't work out, and that's fine, but I did get a lot of help from the Career Center as well. But that's really my advice about second year selections and moving.
Thanks, Tara. Anyone else wants to share their experience?
Yeah, I would like to add to what Tara said. So definitely for me as well, moving to Polytechnic di Torino after my first year was a decision based on the technical, basically the expertise that this university was offering and the kind of professor, especially Professor Santarelli that you already met before. He was one of the visiting professors in my first university. It got me interested in the field, and then I talked to other professors before moving to Politecnico di Torino and really liked what they were offering. And this made me decide for Italy. But not only, basically, one of my main motivations to move was to learn a new language, see a different culture. I mean, one of my reasons to move to Europe was travel as much as possible, learn something new. And this is, let's say the diametrically opposite country to Sweden was Italy. And like, I have to be here in this country, learn about it. I had already lived 1 year in Sweden. Agree also with Tara on this, pack light, I'm planning to write a book on my life in 3 boxes basically. So this is how I moved. By basically, I had always these 3 boxes that I transported, like so. Apart from my luggage and all, and that was more than enough. This is one of the best things of, or one of the best things of this program is that you get to move, and it's not such a pain. Let's say it's not something that should hold you back from this program. It's one of the advantages of this program that you can move between universities. I can just speak for myself. Like I started in Sweden, then I moved to Italy for some time. Then from Italy, I also moved to Germany, and never that I felt that it was such a pain to move and find accommodation and move all my stuff in, get settled in. Polytechnico, when I moved in, they also offered me help finding an accommodation. So I had something for the first few months until I could find my own apartment. So get in touch with the foreign office in the university. They're always trying to help you out, and yeah, go ahead and don't base on this that it's going to be a difficult thing moving around. I mean, take this as a positive of this program.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Arvid. So maybe we can hear also from Joan. Sorry, I can't pronounce properly, Joan, because you did not go to Politecnico di Torino, if I'm correct. So it'd be interesting to hear about your experience as well. Oh, we can't hear you. I think you might be muted. Still muted.
All right, now I can talk. Can you hear me?
Ah, perfect. Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, I was muted. All right. So yeah, as I said, I was not in Politecnico di Torino. I was in the Polytechnical University of Catalonia in the first year, which is actually in my homeland, but was most special for me was the second year that I was spending in Lisbon in Instituto Superior Técnico. It's always, I mean, if you're attending this webinar, it's because at least a little bit you like to travel and you like to move around, and it's always great to go somewhere else to study. It's wonderful to get your life in another country and to get to know another culture, learn another language, meet people from around the world. Because always when you're abroad, it's much easier and you're much more open for these things. Since the question was with regards to finding accommodation and so on, I think nowadays this is a problem everywhere. With Corona, I think it relaxed the things relaxed a little bit, but I mean it's always difficult to find a flat and so on. But it's just putting in a bit of time and a bit of effort, and you can find something pretty decent for a nice price. So I wouldn't really be scared about that. What I would really like to highlight is that the experience of studying abroad and meeting people from abroad and sharing time with them, sharing cultures, is really, really enlightening. And I totally recommend it. If anyone is hearing and attending this webinar and has never done that before, you have to do that. It's really something it's going to be really good for your life.
Thank you. I think that's a great advice. And Gustav, because you're in such a unique position this year with coronavirus, are you still planning to travel to Finland?
Well, in my case, because right now I'm approaching like the last semester for master thesis, so it doesn't have to be in Finland. And in my case, I applied to some like startups and companies. So some of them are in Finland, so some are also in Portugal. So it will depend on which company that I will have like the master thesis contract. But yeah, I mean, regarding like the traveling, oh sorry, regarding like the transition from the first year to the second year, at least I still have the experience to expand my networking to the people in Finland as I did as well in Lisbon. I have like the opportunity to meet some like company representatives as well related to energy storage, and also of course with the students as well. So even during this coronavirus situation, uh, I believe it doesn't really affect like very much in case of like networking and also experience and the study activities as well.
I think this is an excellent a point that even though you cannot travel at the moment, it's still not you know, you still have your networking opportunities that are available, which is great, and you're making the most out of it. Because we have such a short Q&A session, just maybe if we can go around and just, we have a lot of students as well currently who are looking at the whole coronavirus situation, and maybe they're wondering, will there be an opportunity for me after I graduate? What are the opportunities available in renewable energy? So maybe from your experience, do you see the renewable energy sector growing? Do you see new opportunities for students who will graduate? And any advice for students who are applying this year? You know, maybe something that you wish you knew also before you moved and joined EIT InnoEnergy, like handy tips sort of thing.
I'm gonna take this one first, if you don't mind, or if we want to do ladies.
I mean, if Tara's okay, you jumped in. You jumped in there.
Okay. All right, then. I want to say the renewable energy sector is not growing. It's booming. It's boosting. It's out of the charts. It's like you have to take into account all our society is moving towards that. So it's a sector that is getting more and more jobs and more expertise. So professionally, if you're an engineer, to take this masters and get to know about either smart cities or renewable energy or any of the masters inside this EIT program, it's a good chance. Then I don't know if there was another question, but
the other question is just a recommendation, like an advice. You already done the process of studying and graduating.
Oh.
Some of the students are just, you know, like they're applying just now. So any sort of like things that you wish you knew maybe before you joined EIT InnoEnergy?
No, not exactly in this way. What I would really like to highlight and what I would like to encourage people to do is to follow their heart. And if they are really motivated for these things, then I would really advise to be proactive and look for your own things, participate actively in the community. I don't know, look for internships, do as much as you can to follow your dreams. That's my only piece of advice. You don't need to worry for, oh, I'm not prepared for this. If you're not, you will be in some short time. So just take the best out of this chance.
Excellent advice. Thank you very much. So maybe Tara, since you've been jumped, maybe you would like to go next then.
Sure. So, I mean, just to elaborate on what Jean said is that, yeah, I mean, this industry is booming. It's not going away. I'm really proud that yesterday the US re-entered the Paris Climate Agreement. I'm, you know, ecstatic about that. But in general, yeah, fossil fuels are a dinosaur and we're moving to something bigger and better. And so there's definitely going to be opportunities. So I had a career before I did my master. And I was apprehensive, like, have I forgotten things from my bachelor's? And one of the things that I think is really valuable to know is that you really do end up in this ecosystem where you're on so many team projects and your students helping each other and giving each other guidance and advice. And it just really is a wonderful, wonderful learning environment. And so I just think that that's something that people need to consider and be aware of, is that, you know, whatever your concern is, you're given every opportunity and every tool possible to succeed and to find a career that you're going to love. And so your first job may not be the best job, which was my experience, you know, with my first career, and that's why I changed path. But you'll be in the field, you'll be learning, and just to go for it, kind of.
Yeah, what I can add to what Tara and Len said is basically that if I think about all my classmates now, I'm in contact with them from my master's days, and I still see them working in one renewable company or one sector or another. Most of them still remain there. Just saying that the sector is still booming, jobs are still there, and it's a matter of you finding what you like to work in and working towards that. And that's my one advice to all of you basically, is like many of you come from non-European countries. There are visa issues always when you finish your course, and it's always good to be prepared when you really want to find something immediately after your master's to start looking for it. There are a lot of different decisions there because you have traveled basically 2 or 3 countries. By the time you are at the end of your master's, you are not sure in which country you want to find your find work. So basically start thinking proactively before you finish your master's, what you want to do afterwards. Always remember that language can be a barrier in Europe when you're trying to find a job. So for example, in Italy, it's preferred that you speak Italian. I'm in Germany since 2.5 years, and basically it's good to have a good knowledge of German or a decent knowledge of German. But you can always find jobs where only English is needed, just that it helps to integrate better with the country where you find your job in, and language is one of the ways that you can do it. Also, don't restrict yourself that I like to only a career in a company, in an industry. There are also like the path that I took was very fulfilling. I decided to do a PhD after my master's, and then I decided to look for a job afterwards, and that could also be an option. So there are different ways, different paths that you can take after your master's, and really depends on what you want to do. All of these ways are open. There are a lot of research funding, a lot of jobs that are here in different fields.
Thank you so much, Arpit. Thank you for the recommendation and advice for the future students as well. And last but not least, Gustav, perhaps you have some advice as well?
Yeah, I mean, Johan, Tara, and Arpit made many good points, and I just want to add like a small like suggestion or a thought from me. You know, about renewable energy application implementation, it develops like very rapidly right now. If you see from the energy sector, if you see from the transportation sector as well. For example, the energy sector, we are now moving from like traditional to the smart grid. So in the smart grid, we require a lot of like renewable energy resources systems to be integrated into the smart grid, and also digitalization of renewable energy is also a new industry right now, and many new businesses model in this digitalization, and also from the transportation sector. It is a sure thing for sure. In many countries, you have seen it. It's already started. For example, like in Europe for sure, and also in my case in Indonesia, we want to move. We want to migrate from the cars that are using fuels like fossil fuels as the fuel into battery right now, electric vehicles. So don't worry about like opportunity, even though during this hard situation, I would say sustainable energy industry is really developing right now. It's really happening.
Thank you very much. So I'm a little bit cautious of the time because we should be jumping into main Q&A session now. So I know some of our graduates might need to go now. So we'll jump to the main Q&A session. Just want to say big thank you all for taking time. I know everyone's super busy and sharing your experience today. It's extremely valuable. Just on a side note here, Gusto is also one of our student ambassadors. So good to know for anyone who might have additional questions for him for later. Sorry, I'm been muted. So the first question I can see is for our career center. So perhaps Grace or Marloes, you can clarify. The students are wondering if the career center support available in all regions, and how are the students supported by career center in the regions?
Yes, so we have one career center that supports all the locations indeed. Well, and I'm not quite sure if I understand the question, because the support that we give is what I mentioned. So we have the coaching sessions. You can have a short coaching, book a separate coaching session if you wish. So we have the CV checks. You can practice your job interviewing skills. So it's basically designed for your needs. And if you're looking for any other kind of support, then you can always contact us and we can set up something together, what would suit you, for example.
Thank you for clarifying, Grace. And the next question I have is for Annika and Massimo, and perhaps also for Sara. So students are asking, for Masters in Energy Storage, is the syllabus focused more on chemistry or electrical engineering, electronics? I'm not sure
Maybe
who would like to take the, yeah, perhaps.
Annika, maybe I could start about that. So actually, for the energy storage master's program, it's not on not that much on electrical engineering. It's more on kind of energy engineering and chemistry, maybe focused on, with some hints of electrical engineering. So, but we have the list of courses, and they are of course available. So you can, for instance, contact Sara, and you will get the full list of, at least from Aalto. But in the first year, they are very similar for all of the 3 entry universities.
Thank you so much. And just on top of that, there's a rather specific question that also came in. So a student has, with the chance of being accepted for a student who has 60% in bachelor's in electrical engineering, master's of information technology, and 5 years experience in electrical and design engineering. Is this a suitable candidate to be accepted to Aalto for master's in energy storage?
Well, I'm not now remembering that by heart, but we have a criteria, and then you'll get a different amount of points whether your background studies are kind of relevant for that study. So maybe you could also do so that you could contact Sara and kind of take a shorter look on that, so we can check on. But of course, we do not know everything, so there's a lot of grading criteria are coming from the motivation and all that kind of thing. So of course it would be a good idea to apply, and then that would be an option. I think you can at least apply for 2 InnoEnergy programs at least, or even more. Does someone know?
Thank you so much, Annika. And also on top of that as well, another question regarding energy storage. So a student applied for year 1 to EIT University and year 2 to Politecnico di Torino. They are wondering when will they hear the results from EIT University about the decision? About the information for the for the program, for the curriculum of the program.
I can answer that. My name is Sara Kanerva from EIT University. It's actually, I can't say like exact date, but since I have not yet received the students who have like accepted the offer from the first application round, so I don't have the information of the students who are coming, who have chosen Aalto as their first option just yet. So that's one of the reasons. But I would say latest in March. But of course, you can contact me if there's any questions, any specific questions. I will of course help you as much as I can. But yeah, March, April would be the latest. But hopefully I will receive the students who have accepted the offer from the first application round as soon as possible. Then I know more.
Thank you so much for clarifying. The next question, and this is perhaps a little bit for, I guess, for Career Center, or maybe for the students as well. So we have participants who are wondering, is there an easier way for students to buy stuff in the new city, like second-hand items, perhaps? So I guess if the student moves to a new city, they want to buy something for the flat, and the other student is moving out to their second-year university. Is there like a group, or is there a way for students to do that or interact with one another? So I'm not sure if I can see that our graduates and students are still online. So maybe if one of you guys would like to take it, or.
Sure, I can help.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You all joined.
Go.
In general, oh goodness, we're so bad at this. In general, for issues related to moving, typically there are students who are leaving and students who are coming, right? So you can often, if there's a couple people staying in the location over the summer, which again, for the folks of us who are not from Europe, Like I stayed all summer in Stockholm and moved to Turin at the very end of the summer when school was starting down there. So I was able to, like, for the new incoming students, you know, there's all these networks and all these connections, and a lot of time you can sell your stuff to an incoming student in that location. And for accommodation as well, sometimes you can say, hey guys, my apartment was really great. If anybody is interested, I'll tell my landlord. So there are, like, through the community, through just using your university contacts, whatever, there are ways to, you know, trade in between ourselves.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you, Tara, for explaining. I have a question actually for Gusta now. Gusta, can you please give examples of companies that you have applied for thesis in energy storage? So Gusta, perhaps also maybe just companies that are big in energy storage in Europe as well would be interesting to mention.
Well, I have applied like to some startups and also to some big companies as well. For example, like ABB, which is big in energy storage field. But so far, I have like some interview already with the startup, and I think the process with the ABB is still on progress. But actually, there are many. I'm planning to apply to some other companies as well, because there are many companies that provide or like offer master thesis positions right now. But the thing is, I think it is not as many as like before the pandemic situation. Because I don't know. I think usually they like respond very fast or like immediately. But I have been waiting for this ABB for some weeks. But yeah, I just want to say that there are many opportunities to apply for master thesis in some companies in energy storage field. Sorry if I did I answer your question or.
No, I think so. And of course, please have a look at our website, and you will see many companies in energy storage field as well. Now I have a question for all student and graduates in terms of if any of you worked during your education, and if so, is it difficult to work while studying at the same time?
I did work during the education. I was doing a part-time internship in both the first and second years, and I did so in startups. Obviously, your day is a bit more busy than if you don't do that. But if you're more or less capable of handling your time, or if not, you will learn to do so. It's not something impossible. It is very doable, I would say, from my own experience.
Thank you so much. I think that's very reassuring for many students as well. Question for Massimo now. Is Massimo still connected? Yes, I can see.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes,
Excellent.
definitely.
Massimo, so we have a question on a favorite subject of ours is regarding to green hydrogen. So what is InnoEnergy doing with regards to green hydrogen?
Yeah, but at the level of InnoEnergy, we are working with Frank in this moment, not only, but Frank is our reference in order to develop a curriculum which is more focused on this specific topic. At the moment, anyway, before completing this new curriculum, the hydrogen topic is offered in several of the courses that are contained in the, for sure in the master where I work, which are Select and eStore, but also in the other master offered in the InnoEnergy school. So at the moment, the hydrogen is a topic which is described and studied in the different master in the course which we offer. But in parallel, we are starting a discussion about, to offer a curriculum dedicated on the topic. Yeah.
Thank you, Massimo. I have a question for Grace now. Grace, do you feel that age could be a limiting factor when trying to start a new career in Europe? So I guess this is in regards to working while you're studying as well.
Well, it doesn't have to be. We have more students who are older older than the typical master student who would start right after their bachelor. And they have found jobs in Europe. One of them is working for Northvolt. So it doesn't have to be, but of course it depends. I think this is also a bit connected to what Joan's already said. Like if you find internships, if you do a lot of activities also during the studies, that this will definitely help for once you're graduated. So it doesn't have to be impossible, no.
Thank you, Grace. We have another question coming in for Alto. I promise this is probably would have to be one of the last ones we take. Storage is centered on batteries for consumers, vehicles, or grids. So I think it's just more of a question, if students decide to study energy storage, what specializations can they go into afterwards?
Well, I can answer that. Of course, this is a university program, so we go through all that kind of things. And as I told here also in Aalto, we did kind of like a harmonizing of the courses, so kind of a little bit depending also on what is the what is the interest of the student. You can kind of also go to different directions, whether that would then be for vehicles or whether for like stationary storage, then of course there will be a little, like different type of paths for those, but the kind of the background is same for them. What is the need for storages? How do we kind of define the storages? How do we calculate the amount of storages and so on? So that you don't have to decide that when you go there, but you will kind of learn by doing. And the reality actually is that often when you go into these projects, company projects and so on, so those where you actually learn new things and maybe new interests as well. So it's actually not a good idea to lock that necessarily in the beginning down, but there's a lot of opportunities during these 2 years to meet and see different things.
Thank you so much.
Do not need to select yet.
Thank you so much for explaining, Annika. And I will take our last question because I can see that we're running out of time, which would probably be for our student and graduates if they're still connected. So there's a question from a student who's wondering, for those of you who came from outside of the EU, were there difficulties related to school life that were unique to being from outside of the EU? And if so, were you like, how were you able to cope with it? So I guess any sort of culture shocks that you experienced and how you were able to overcome those.
I think that even if you come from within Europe, for example, if you're not Swedish, it's a different culture, you know, and if you're not Italian, it's a different culture. So I think that there's going to be these small little culture shocks, regardless of if you're European or not European. Maybe it might be greater, I suppose. I had benefited from living in Europe for a few years prior to my master, so for my previous job. So for me, it maybe wasn't as serious. I think that too, I know we're limited on time. One thing about being older and then going and doing your master's is I had already lived away from home. I know that for some of my peers where this was sort of their first experience leaving their home and their home country, that was more of a reason for a shock than the actual culture. Just a thought.
Thank you for clarifying, Tara. Would anyone else like to add to this? Any difficulties that you faced that were like quite unique from being outside of the EU?
I would say the difficulties are related not necessarily with the like culture shock, not necessarily related to this culture, but it relates more with the study pace that depends on each university. For example, if I compare my university in Indonesia with the study in IST in Lisbon, I would say that in IST it requires more time for you to do your self study and also to dig deeper on the materials that the lecturers have given. So it's not necessarily about the culture shock, because as long as you can communicate the language that is used in a certain country, in our case for sure is English. I don't see like any like obstacles, I would say, in terms of culture shock. More about you have to adapt yourself with the past study of the university that you are attending to.
Thank you so much, Gusta. Anyone else would like to join and comment on any culture shocks? No? Okay, then I think we would have to round up for today because we're running out of time, and I know there's still a lot of questions coming in. So what I would advise everyone to do is, of course, contact us on our website or for our social media. You can see on screen we have several events coming up dedicated specifically to the programs. So Grace, if you change to another slide as well quickly, just to show. Yes, so we have, so each webinar will be focused on the program, and it will have a program director and coordinator there. And the webinars are completely interactive, so it'll be just Q&A, no presentations, so just asking questions to the program directors and coordinators. They're also on our website, so you can have a look and register there. Now, I would like to thank all our presenters and students and graduates that took time to participate in today's event. Of course, a huge thank you to all our attendees who joined today as well. We very much hope that this event was interesting and useful for you. And as I said, if we have not answered your question, please don't hesitate to contact us on website or social media. So we look forward for you joining our future events, and I wish everyone a very good day, and hoping to see you soon at EIT InnoEnergy Master School. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.